award-winning social media thing. Good morning, 6:32. We'll start the week off here. A lot of people asking about the PUA and the FPAC, the unemployment, of course, benefits of the Department of Labor. So let's get Labor Director Dave Dell'Isola on the show for our weekly update. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
We just want to give you the floor and just give us a status on the FPAC and the PUA, if you can, sir.
Sure. The software module is coming along fine. We're like tightening up the inputting of the claims part is about 90% done. The part that the latter part, which does the payments, weekly certification, and the new requirements that we recently found that we need to put into it, which is the save module, which USDOL just let us know that it's needed. So we've been trying to get that account. SAVE is a systematic alien verification for entitlement program or system. It incorporates into the program, and what that does, it tells you automatically if any aliens that are working are they're legally and are entitled to get federal assistance. So it's a safeguard and increases the program's integrity. This is a system that USDOL is assisting us in getting an account, and so that we can give it to the software vendor, and then they can incorporate that into the account. And that and the earnings disregard, which we found out a week or so ago, that's also being built in. So I think we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel if we don't get any more requirements from USDOL. Tomorrow we have a additional training on the appeals and the adjudication process of the claims, and we hope that nothing new will come out from there. You have to understand that this is a new program. We're finding out new requirements as they are vetting it out and they are training us. So I'm hoping that we can get this system up and going. We have a meeting this morning with the programmers, and we're going to get a good update on where we're at and what options we have for rolling out this software program so we can start taking claims.
Dave, you said seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I guess the big question is, how long is the tunnel?
Depends if you're walking or you're driving, I guess. I think what we're going to might do is release the software, which will maybe take claims. We're going to talk about that this morning. We have a 8:30 call in, and we're going to see what options are. Only because there are the two pieces, like I said, that save module, and then also the I forgot the vendor who's going to be doing the check writing and all that kind of stuff. All those procurements aren't complete yet. GSA's with that, following procurement procedures, and whoever gets awarded that portion has to put in the elements for the CSV file, which cuts your checks and makes your EFTs, your electronic funds transfer. So I'll know better. I think I'll have a good feeling after today on what kind of timelines we might be able to get out for you.
You talked about procurement and contracts. You couldn't just go the Title 10 superpower route and bypass everything?
I know they are wherever we could, but certain procurements we have to that aren't. So believe me, it's frustrated at the time, but you know, you have to. Last thing I want to do is get on the media by saying that I violated some kind of procurement procedures or anything like that. They tend not to be very kind to you. I don't know why.
But just to go back,
you know, that's a double-edged sword. So you know, you've got to follow procedures. It takes more time, and you know, that's why they're there. So that when you follow procedures, then everybody's saying, well, how come you're not getting it out fast enough? So you know, you can't win or lose either way you go.
Well, it didn't take that long for civil defense to go through the proper route and make a quick turnaround to get these new quarantine facilities. But that's a whole nother subject. Just wanted to go back to what you were talking about with the SAVE module. Now, is that these are new requirements that you just received word from USDOL? Is that going to
really a module? It's a system that you incorporate into the program.
Right. Is that going to delay?
Go ahead.
Is that going to delay the initial target to get the employee module up or system?
Yeah, because that attaches to the claims form, so that when a somebody that maybe is from Taiwan or from Korea, wherever, is working here, they have a green card. We have to figure out if that person is, number one, legal to work on Guam, and number two, is eligible for federal assistance. And you can just imagine if I didn't have that, which I didn't think of at the time, this is all new, that you trying to, the fraud that would get in by all these people that are putting in that aren't supposed to be working here, that are maybe on tourist visas, that are here illegally working, and then they file for assistance.
So non-U.S. citizens are eligible for these programs?
Legal aliens are. And the typical one, but that doesn't go on the SAVE, of course, is all Micronesians. But I don't believe that they need to go on to that SAVE type of system. Most of these are the Taiwans, the Japanese, the Koreans that are here living, that are working, but they're not U.S. citizens.
Okay.
How are we looking on the...
This is something, like I said, is a requirement from USDOL to be put on the system, and apparently it's a requirement nationwide. It's just that it's an account that we've applied for a week ago, and they are assisting us to try to get it expedited so that we can attach it.
Where are we at with the application, Dave?
The application is pretty much done.
So we're just waiting.
I have a paper one that's called a pre-app, and that's another thing that we're going to go over it with the software vendor to see how much it aligns, and we're going to decide on what we're going to do with that, whether we release it and use it and accept it, or do we just leave it out there as a guide for you to organize your information. So everything is, like I said, is coming so close. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just that now we've got to sit down and start tweaking it and finalizing it, make some decisions based on the programs, and hope that Tuesday and Wednesday's training with USDOL doesn't throw in some more things that would delay anymore. I don't think it will. I think that we put in place everything that is necessary for the program, and now we're just running through the program. I've gone through the program, even though it's still being tweaked. It's a working model, and we've made it as simple as possible. And I think for a complicated program, you can't get it any simpler than what it is, considering that it is an existing model that we took off from Pennsylvania, and we're basically just whittling it down and then changing it around and make it simpler and fitting Guam's unique needs, because it being a territory and different from the state.
Right. Obviously everybody wants to know, like, when do you think?
Yes, believe me, nobody.
People are going to be able to start applying.
Yeah. So I'm hoping this week we can get some concrete timeline for you.
Mm-hmm. And in the meantime,
soon.
Okay. And in the meantime, what should people do to prepare? I know you guys were talking about standing up a call center or some kind of
center. Yes. Yep. Yes, that's pretty much already been completed and ready to go. Initially, we're going to use that center for a training center.
Right.
I've been reaching out. I think for the last week, I've been calling out businesses and hotels and restaurants to stand up like a mini processing centers for their employees and maybe their families or whatever. And I'm starting to get good response. SHRM, president, has said that they want to help too. So what we're going to do is use the center initially to train those HR people, those managers of different businesses, to give them a quick run through the system so that they can in turn help their employees apply online and get a good solid application in.
Dave, I know that you guys have a bunch of people detailed over to Department of Labor, just because I call around to different agencies sending FOIAs and whatnot, and a couple of them, they're saying, oh, well, so-and-so is detailed over to Labor, so you guys do have a bunch of different people there assisting the rollout of this effort, because I don't want people to think that it's just Dave and Hannah Cho over there.
No, there's only 3 of us that are running. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we've sat down with the governor's office and some of the ASOs, and we hand selected like, I'm trying to think, like maybe 40, 50 of some of the talent all through GovGuam, so that they can be initially trained, and they'll be used to train the trainers. The governor was nice enough to write the letters to all the agencies, so I got good response in their detail assignments. And yes, they are unbelievably talented people, and they're picking it up. They're taking it seriously. They understand the magnitude of the job that we have at hand, and they're at every one of our trainings. They do Zoom, and when this program is up, they'll go over there too and start learning the system inside and out. And we'll also be using them for, the adjudication side and the appeal side, and basically we're going to be pulling more GovGuam employees in to assist as needed, and they will train them up too.
What about your deputy director? Is he back working for you? Because I know he was doing work over at the quarantine hotel.
Yes, when we opened up, he came back, and he's basically running the department for me while I'm doing the PUA program.
Do you know if there's going to be any effort to recognize the efforts of the quarantine shepherds?
Man, I think they should be. I mean, I know they're getting beaten up by you guys about who's there and what's there, but when they first opened up, we made a call out to all our employees, and every director did, and nobody wanted to go there.
Right.
I mean, they all, and I can understand who, most of them had families, and most of them had their grandparents or kids, and none of them wanted to go to take the chance of the quarantine. It had nothing to do with money. Just nobody wanted to expose themselves. So initially,
Right, so are frontliners, doctors, nurses, firefighters, police officers. They risk their lives every day too.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave.
Yes, they do. So I even forgot what your question was. Sorry.
I was just
the
wondering.
The deputy's back on the job today.
Yes, he's on the job, and he's running the department and taking care of the day-to-day operations and getting the AJC stood back up again, and making sure that we have the employees are safe distancing and putting those measures in place. So I have him doing the key role so that I can concentrate on this program.
Hey, have you guys got any complaints from any of these nurses, or whether there's a bunch of issues with them getting the overtime pay and the differential pay and the hazard pay? So on the enforcement end of DOL, have you guys do you guys have anybody in the office to entertain those kind of things?
Yeah, we have. They're operating full force, and as usual, I'm not in the day-to-day, so I don't know. I know they are entertaining calls, and there's always some issues with pay. It never goes away. Exactly that answer to that question, I don't know off the top of my head, since I am kind of removed from the day-to-day operations.
Okay, Dave, we got to run. We got to get over to Saipan, but appreciate the update. And if there's any new developments with the application or the software or whatnot, shoot us a message.
I will do that.
Thanks.
I hope to hear something this week. Thank you, Sabrina.
Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Wash your hands.
All right.
Okay, bye. Yeah, so obviously we do want to talk about the closure of some of the quarantine facilities and what it means to the people who are in quarantine. We know what it means for the directors and the deputy directors. No more free meals. That's got to suck. Your first day back on the job, no more catering for the cabinet, no more COVID differential pay. It was a little much, honestly. We've been tracking this thing with the quarantine, and there was a column from the Bureau of Women's Affairs Director Jane Flores that had come out over the weekend and accusing the media of not telling the whole story. But I just want to say that, hey, we got Rebecca Respicio on, and that was the whole other side of the story. And